They see me every day showing up for this pursuit, and they see the outcomes that it's delivering for the family. And that way that I'm being an example for them, it's invaluable, right? You can tell your children until you're blue in the face what you want them to do, but they are mimickers. They will do what they see other people doing, for better or for worse. And so that is one of my most favorite parts of trading, more than the money, hands down, is who I am showing them that I think that they should be and that I want to be, is independent, strong, courageous, dedicated, and persistent, because this is something that I think that I can do and that I have found little successes at, and so that I want to keep the pressure on and keep showing up for and keep trying hard at. Just a quick pause before we get into this. Trading can be intense, and staying mindful during your session matters so much. That's why I created and am sharing a free 3-part audio experience that's helped me deeply. 1, for starting your day with calm intention. 1, to stay centered while you trade. And 1, to wind down with grace when it's time to stop. These tracks are yours. Just click the link in the description. Hey, welcome back. Here at the Market Mamas podcast, I cover a wide range of topics, from the intricacies of day trading to mindset mastery and psychological growth, with the goal of the conversations being next level growth for all of us. My name is Becky, and I'm a US-based futures day trader from the Pacific Northwest. My trading experience includes trading stocks, options, crypto, and futures, with both trading a personal account as well as with prop funding companies. Over time, I found that I most enjoy the fast-paced world of intraday futures trading, so that is my primary day trading focus now. Thank you for joining me on the Market Mamas podcast today. Hey, Becky from Market Mamas, and today I want to talk a little bit about mom life. Trading can be surprisingly a powerful fit for many moms, whether you're stay-at-home or working part-time or juggling even a full-time career. While it's not for everyone, I want to take time today to talk about what makes trading potentially really great for moms. Now, much of today's content is highly applicable to all trading parents and traders, but I am a mom, and so I can most directly speak to it from that perspective and experience in this dual role that I've got here with trading and mom life. So I kind of just want to spend some energy there supporting moms, talking about how it is. If you're not a trader, if you want to be a trader, let's just kind of explore this whole thing. So I started trading in the spring of 2021. And at that time, I had 2 kids, ages 9 and 30. I have since had another babe, and my boys are currently ages 13, 7, and 3. That's where I'm at. It's quite a journey being pregnant and trading. Also, I lost the money, and I learned. So that what happened. But I love being a mom, right? I love being a mother. I think that is very rewarding, and I enjoy my babies so much. But I'm going to be real with you also. Parenting is exhausting, noisy, messy, and honestly very challenging to sort out sometimes. To always know where to go with things, what to do, how to best handle the situation, what's going to most help them get through their situation where they're at. And so if you're a parent, you really know what I mean with that, I think. It's also very rewarding, but at the same time, quite draining. It's quite a dual role, I think, for parents. And to be truly happy and effective as a mom, I think I need to also have pieces of my life that are for me, right? Moms need a part of what we do that's just for us, our hearts or our intellects or both. And for me, trading fits right into that need. So I want to know, are you a mom? Are you a mom trader? Do you want to be a mom trader? Are you a mom who's currently considering trading? Have you been doing it for a long time and you just want to see what other mom traders are out there? If this is a yes for any of those questions, let's talk about it for a few minutes today, about the experience of being a mom and a trader and how that looks and feels, because you're very much not alone. There's statistically, just in the US, there is millions of us mom retail traders trying to see what we can do with this opportunity. And I'm very much here for it. So let's kind of break it down. One aspect of trading that's really good for moms is that there's flexibility with the time of it. So you can trade on your own schedule, which is unlike a traditional 9-to-5 job. You can do trading early in the morning in the pre-market session, or if you're West Coast, the market opens at 6:30 in the morning. That can be traded before you go to another job. You can do it during nap times, depending on where you're at. And in the evenings, even at that time, you can review your setup, keep working on your trade plan, do your back testing and your journaling. You can manage your swing trades in order to figure out what you want to execute on the next day. So you can make it work around whatever time opportunity you have. It doesn't have to be all day in an office. And then also it can be a scalable time commitment too. So you can start small, maybe 1 to 2 hours a day, and then scale up if and when you want to, or as your children age and their needs and schedules change. For example, my baby has been a baby, but he actually just started preschool this fall, which is kind of a new world. There's finally a minute where there's no kids in the house, a couple hours, a couple days a week. Just naturally, they're all at school now. So my world is starting to shift, and I'm starting to get more time opportunity for me to dig deeper into my habits. And it's kind of perfect because I've been training for 4 years now, right? I've been building slowly through the chaos of my life with young children. Some months I've been more effective at learning and growing, and some have been little steps backwards. Regardless, I have tried to whatever degree I could through all of the last 4 years. And now, as my children are getting older and they're approaching, in 2 years, right, is going to be the sweet spot, really, when my youngest is in kindergarten. And I'll have a whole chunk of time where there's like no kids in the house at all from 7 until 2. And that, to think about that, it's so exciting to me, honestly, moms, because I will have spent at that time 6 years growing a strong trading system and setup and management and discipline. And then I will magically have like a lot of freedom to really kind of make it however I want it and expand it if I want to. So I do love the aspect of trading that you can scale it to whatever's going on with your life, what age your children are, what opportunities you have. There's a lot of flexibility with it that you can fit it into however you need to. Okay, so another benefit that works for us moms is that there's kind of a low barrier to entry at this point in trading that there never has been in the history of the financial industry. So at this point in trading, you don't need a financial degree. You don't need to work for a big business or funding company or bank. There's many successful mom traders that are out there, myself included, that are self-taught, self-driven. You're learning through YouTube, books. We're finding communities that we join and then pivot and join another one. And we just keep finding online resources to study from and learn and consume when it fits with our lives, right? On our own schedule. And then at that rate and that way, we can go at our own pace, which I love. I know personally, I have an obsession with Audible just because it works so well for my life. And I have consumed so many trading and psychology books on Audible while parenting, driving in the evenings. And those have been really helpful for my development as a trader for sure. In fact, that's why we have a must-read recommendation series within the Market Mamas podcast, because there's so many pieces of content that have really shaped me as a trader and had really great gems that I have put into my trading system. And that is from me, honestly, just having my AirPods in when I'm outside gardening and they're jumping on the trampoline. I can get through an hour of content easily, and my garden looks better and the kids are happy, and I have studied whilst parenting. Like, that is really helpful, right? It helps us be able to make it fit with our lives. Okay, so another thing is that you can start with a small capital in trading nowadays. You can begin with just even a few $100s. Paper trading is where, honestly, all traders ideally should and most likely do start trading, because it's just simulated money. So you have no money commitment in the beginning to start figuring out how to experiment without any risk on the table, so you can learn order types and how to execute, how to manage, how to adjust your stop loss, the way the different market moves. And then you don't have actual financial risk in the beginning stages in that way. And then as you start to get your system and you want to start putting some skin in the game, then you can start small. You can start with a small trading account and trade micros if you're into futures, or just shares of certain stocks with the smaller ticket price or smaller amount of shares. And then you can slowly leverage up. And then another benefit to that, lower barrier to entry financially, is that prop firms have become such a mainstay in the trading world these days, where if you find the good ones that have really reliable system, customer service, and reviews, definitely do your homework on that, because some are some bullshit. But if you find the really good ones out there, then you can use their prop funding accounts, and you just pay fees, which are reasonable, and you can, be cautious with them, have rules around them, and then just use, a funded account for a while, and they hold the risk. Those prop companies, they carry the risk of your executions without you having the potential to lose multiple thousands of dollars in a situation. Instead, you might just lose a little bit of time. You lose an account, you have to reset it. And so you just have to factor in the cost of the fees, essentially. And then you are trading with money, that you don't have to carry a sizable account in order to execute with. And so there's a lot of ways to make this feasible when you don't have a large trading account to start with, or you don't get hired on as like a trader for a big corporation where you're trading their money. And then, that's not how you have to do it these days, which is pretty cool. And then also, depending on the age of your children or what's going on with your home, it's home-based. Retail trading is a home-based activity now. There's no commute. There's no dress code. And if you're on the West Coast, you can still be in your whatever in the morning. You don't have to be in the business suit. You don't have to leave your kids. You could do it while they're napping in the other room. You can do it while you have them situated with an activity or food or whatever. You can focus. So the fact that it's home-based, it actually works with the competing priorities that are in existence with momming and having another job, whether it's trading or anything. You can do both just carefully and intentionally. So it's kind of like a moldable into our life and our home structure without a terrible amount of big changes that are necessary. Okay, so you can, in that way, kind of let it take time and learn along the way instead of like forcing it because you have to do it in some kind of a box structure that someone else says you need to do it in. No, you can make it your own. I love that. I mean, most commonly, I think moms start with a modest capital and then they make mistakes, as all developing traders do. You learn from the mistakes over time and with intentional studying whenever you have time to figure out what's going on and what you can learn from every trade, win or loss. And then you can gradually scale up. And so that flexibility, with the system and giving yourself time and availability to do the work of losing and learning and developing over time, it really makes it so feasible. It doesn't have to be really a startling or dramatic change to your life in order to learn this. It just has to take the amount of time that it needs to for your life, for your home, for your family. You can do the shifts to your home dynamics subtly and ease into this as one part of your busy life instead of like this whole, I'm taking this 40-hour-a-week job and I really have to show up or my boss is going to fire me. You can make it your own, which is pretty great for us moms who are constantly running the world for our little world, right? Another aspect that I kind of really love is the financial empowerment and the independent income stream that this can create for you once you kind of dial it in, which is something that I'm really passionate about for women and for anyone really, but like especially for women and moms. It's kind of a cool way we can make money and it's not dependent on a boss or a spouse or a rigid schedule or anyone else kind of dictating what we can make. We get to dictate it by the energy that we put into it and the effort that we learn and the way we choose to manage it. There is serious potential for us to have that income stream kind of on our own agenda, right? And in that way, we can boost our household income, which is great. Even a few extra dollars a month, it can help cover bills, school expenses, save up for your dream travel, savings goals, just what you want to do for your home. Any sort of priority you have that you wish you had more money for, trading can fill that once you start figuring it out and you ease into it and you start making small profits in the beginning and allowing it to compound over time, but not rushing it. Those early wins can start to actually have an impact. And that is so rewarding. Like, it's pretty great to be able to plan something for the house that you didn't have to ask or think about anything with the money because you know that you extracted it from your trading accounts. And it's a really great feeling. And you can also, once you get beyond that level of like, the few hundred, few thousand in the early months of getting paid as a trader, there is potential. Trading is not a get rich quick scheme. It just isn't. I'm talking like this is a couple years into the game, but you can then start building a generational long-term wealth that you're going to learn over time, that you can do long-term planning. You can increase your exposure to the market and your leverage as your system grows, and that can create some real financial freedom. You can get deep into trading. You can get good. You can get really good people on your side. You can have an expert mentor who's really changing your trajectory as a trader, and you can develop a powerful edge with that time and experience. And then you can create the generational wealth that you want for your family, for your children. And you can start showing them the real potential of like just going after something and what it can turn into over years of effort, which it's a big motivator for me as a mom of 3. Another aspect though that is, really great is that there's mental stimulation and growth challenges with the learning aspect of trading. Like, you have to really engage your brain in strategy, problem solving, continuous learning, figuring out what happened and learning and figuring out how you can do better and growing over time. And honestly, that's why I got into trading. In 2021, in January, I had a very significant back injury at the hospital at my job as a nurse. And so I was on a medical leave and eventually had surgery. And so I was off for like 7 months. And in that time, just sitting at home in an ice pack, I got intellectually very bored. And that's when the GME squeeze and the Bitcoin and Doge was just kind of blowing up. And I was like, what is this? Like, maybe I can learn this. I knew nothing previously. And so I just started going down the rabbit hole and learning more and figuring out and started to consume books. And that intellectual stimulation just worked with me. Like, I was like, this is kind of cool. Like, you can learn how to do what, and you can extract money from the stock market. How, and like, how much money do I need? And how can you be successful? I opened a Robinhood account, and then you started to be like, shit, like, I put on this trade based on what I thought I understood, and it made money or it lost money. How did that happen? Why did that happen? What happened when I didn't take profits and it went back in red? That availability in trading to like stimulate that part of our brain, it can be like really encouraging to want to further pursue this, because it opens up a part of you, a part of our brains that is there and is powerful, and we can utilize to really make something for ourselves with it. And this is such a beautiful, in my opinion, opportunity for that aspect of our growth and development as a human, not just a mom, as a woman, as a person. And that can kind of feed into like a personal accomplishment, right? Many moms say that they love having something that's just theirs in their life, whether it's, whatever your passion is, something that you do that is not necessarily momming or being a spouse, but it's your passion. That is really fulfilling as a person. And for mom traders, myself included, that is what trading can be for me. It's a skill, a goal, it's a win that I can take that's not related to my role as a mom or a spouse or a homemaker. It's separate. It's just something that I strove for, worked for, developed. The wins are a big deal, no matter who you are. Like, showing up and learning something self-driven, as trading is these days. And then when you really start to get good, it's a great feeling. And as a mom, you don't always get that when you're just deep in the trenches of like cleaning up messes and cooking meals and doing laundry. It's very, very different from that energy, which I love. And it can also boost self-confidence, right? Like, trading has transformed me in many ways, but it has also even made me a more confident person, because I'm able to successfully manage my money and my accounts, and I learn more about the financial industry than I ever thought I would know. I didn't have, my family isn't come from a financial background, and I was a nurse as my other career and my first career. And so that you don't have to know a lot about this. And so by learning this, I just feel like I know more about an important part of the world, of the industry, of my potential. And so even the small amounts I have learned, the little bits that I have won, it really does boost confidence and autonomy as a person, separate from also your other roles in life that is not always simulated in any other way. All right, so moms, right? We can get really bogged down. I don't know if that's the right term, but really kind of deeply ingrained in mom life, mom friends, which I love, and that whole community, school events, all of that. But with trading, it's very different. It's a very different energy. It's different conversations. It's different types of things that you're struggling through in the beginning, different emotional challenges that you have to work through that are quite different from something in the home. And so nowadays with trading, why it's so great for moms is that you don't have to do it alone. Even if in your home mom group neighborhood, there's no other traders, be it men or women, you don't necessarily have to, because there's such great opportunities for support online now. There's Discord groups and YouTube communities, such as Market Mamas is growing. Like, we can be friends. You should message me. And I'm very open to cultivating relationships with other traders, especially mom traders. There's so much opportunity out there, and welcoming spaces where moms can get together with other traders and other mom traders and share strategies and support and really empower each other. And if you find yourself, maybe you are in communities, right? You're a mom trader in your communities. If they're not amazing, if they don't make you feel better, if they give you FOMO or comparison, envy, any kind of gross feelings at all, I'm sorry, get out. Like, leave them. Bye. Like, we don't need to have any sort of negative communities in our world, because there's really, really great ones out there. And I would encourage you to just kind of look farther and pursue the ones that are really supportive, because trading is hard. Like, you're going to lose and it's going to suck, and there's going to be tears, or however you let out your emotions. Like, there's going to be hard days. But having a really supportive online community, it's leveling. It's supportive. It makes you know that you're not like losing your mind, that you're okay, that this is just a day. It doesn't define you or your trading journey, and that you can become stronger for it. That's the kind of people that you want to develop and have around you, even in an online forum. And I have found that incredibly supportive. And some of the people that are my best friends now live all over the country. And we still have very meaningful conversations on the phone, in our communities, on Zoom calls. And it really makes a big difference in this. And so there is community out there for moms that you don't have to change your home life in order to be a part of. And then once you meet those people in those communities, having those shared goals with different mom traders, it really can help you have longevity in this game. It can help you have stability in this role because you kind of draw together and there's common motivations. You're both working through different issues with flexibility, and your goals is financial freedom. And like when something's going on in your home, you can talk to another person who understands it from this perspective as well, from being a mom trader who is having the same kind of situation happen to them last month. Is really supportive to have those shared goals, people around you that are separate from your kids, friends, parents, that you have other things in common with, but not necessarily trading, right? Okay, so now at this point in this YouTube video, everyone who's not a mom has probably already clicked away. Let's be real. So you guys, everyone who's here, seriously gets this next point, that by trading right now, we are actively teaching our children a model for financial literacy and who they could be when they grow up and who they want to have around them when they grow up, right? Moms who trade, we can do many things for our children. We can often teach them the basics of trading, money, investing, risk management, patience, and discipline, and that can cultivate what type of a career they eventually go for. And even they can start sooner into adulthood with this if they see such an example from you. And then also on the emotional, psychological characteristics of us becoming the successful traders that we're aiming towards. In that pursuit, we are actively teaching them by example grit, determination, persistence, resilience, faith in oneself. And for me, like, being a good example for my children is such a high priority. And I know that I am setting that example every day for my growing boys as I'm developing myself as a trader. And so I really want to show them what it looks like to have a really hard day and say, like, I lost money today and it was hard. And I talked to my mentor and my friends and it's fine. Like, I'm okay. I love you guys. Our life is blessed and abundant. And then also to show them on the winning days, like, I know I work really hard and this trip I got to fund is based on trading profits because I just keep working hard. And I am in that phase of trading where I still have hard days and they see me when I am having a little bit of a low moment sometimes. But they also have seen me fund multiple trips for our family exclusively from trading profits. And it's amazing. Like, they know now, they respect it more now than they ever have before. When I work a lot in the evenings after they go to bed, I will do my back testing and my journaling, or I'll work on the podcast or something. And if one of them can't sleep or whatever, they come down. Like, they know mom's going to be in the office at my computer. They just know where to find me. And so they know that I work at night when they're sleeping. When they get up in the morning, if it's a weekday, I am in my office trading. And so they know dad's in charge of breakfast and getting them ready for school for the most part. So because that is an important time for me to work. And so they see me every day showing up for this pursuit, and they see the outcomes that it's delivering for the family. And that way that I'm being an example for them, it's invaluable, right? You can tell your children until you're blue in the face what you want them to do, but they are mimickers. They will do what they see other people doing, for better or for worse. And so that is one of my most favorite parts of trading, more than the money, hands down, is who I am showing them that I think that they should be and that I want to be, is independent, strong, courageous, dedicated, and persistent, because this is something that I think that I can do and that I have found little successes at. And so that I want to keep the pressure on and keep showing up for and keep trying hard at. And I want them to grow into that type of personality as they get older, because I think children's lives are limitless, right? They can build whatever they want. So anyways, I diverged there for a minute, but I think that that is a huge element to mom trading energy, is that we can show them so much potential for their own lives, and then who the heck knows what they're going to build. So, but then also, okay, so what about when your kids get older? Like, my oldest just turned 13 and we're kind of getting to the point where this is going to be more of a thing. But you can choose to start teaching them in their teenage years all kinds of things about trading in the industry and risk management and finances. And that can be a bonding and an educational experience. And then they can, who knows? I mean, maybe it's just not their jam, but maybe they do want to go down that same track or something similar. And you will have given them a real kind of home experience education that can help really, give them a good start on something that could be an excellent career for them. I kind of love that. But okay, so devil's advocate, right? Is it all sunshine and rainbows trading? It also is very hard. And so I couldn't have this episode without like the little caveat of, it's not going to be easy. It's just not. It hasn't been easy for me. I've had really hard days. There's definite benefits, especially when you start getting good and consistent. But it comes with many challenges, trading does, especially for busy moms, not even just the financial part, right? When you lose, even if it's just, your $50 eval fee for a prop fund, you lose and you have to reset. Even beyond the money, that there's an emotional high and low swing from learning to trade. And that can be exhausting, the highs and lows and the emotional swings of that. And so being exhausted as a mom doesn't make anything else in life easier. It's hard. And then there's also like, what if the hours that you're really good or your community prefers to trade? What if that clashes with your parenting responsibilities? What if you don't have a co-parent? What if they are gone during that time and you have to parent when you would like to be trading? Like, that's a very real situation that happens probably to nearly all moms at some point in their training career. And so you have to kind of figure out how to pursue it as a side hustle, but then also still fulfill your parenting responsibilities. I mean, children still need breakfast in the morning. You still have to like get them ready for school and what have you. And so that time clash can be, something to have to figure out that is not always easy or smooth. And certainly we've had growing pains with that in my home as well that we're getting better at every month. But it's something to work through. And I mean, as moms, sometimes depending on who you have as children and as a partner, if you have one, we still have to show up and parent. Like we are often culturally in America understood to be responsible for all of it. The cooking, the cleaning, a side hustle. If we choose to do it, then that's on us. And if it's successful or not, then that's on us because we chose to do that. But we're still ultimately responsible, to get the laundry through so the kids have clean clothes and to have healthy and nutritious, balanced meals and to get all the responsibilities done while doing whatever you also want to pursue for your heart and your intellect. And so doing everything is a lot sometimes. Like I feel that for us. It's real. And I think, and it can be real for all parents, but it's certainly true for moms. And you still have to make sure your kids are safe and healthy and receiving the emotional support that they need, because as adults, we have to figure out how to most balance ourselves. That's on us. But children are still learning that. And so we still have to keep ourselves as level as we can, even if you've had a really shitty hard morning and you lost a couple $1,000s, heaven forbid. It's not their fault. You know what I mean? Like, so be able to have the emotional maturity to hold ourselves together, at least in front of them, and still show up to teach them a healthy balance there. It's a lot of juggling, literally and emotionally. And so that is a really hard part of the first couple of years of training, is to be able to still be an effective, kind, loving parent and work through those highs and lows. Okay, so also, I mean, the money, right? The risk of losing, it's real, and you could lose a lot of money really fast with trading. And if you are trading without proper understanding of risk management or any real thorough, proper formal education or training, and maybe you're not the most disciplined person yet, the risk is significant that you could actually lose a lot of money. And this is a very major consideration that has to be said. And I kind of feel like I'm the bearer of the reality on that, but that's what it is, right? You can learn and earn a lot of money, and you can also lose a lot of money if you don't have tight risk management and you don't quite know what you're doing yet, when you just haven't learned enough. And so when you're mostly self-teaching yourself, both the trading edge and how the market moves, the technical analysis, you also have to self-teach yourself risk management and fine-tuning your playbook. And there's a lot of freedom with that, right? Because it's self-teaching. And so whatever we choose to learn, pursue, who we're listening to, not every educator out there has an emphasis on really powerful risk management. And if you're not getting that from somewhere, you need to pursue that as a part of a well-rounded trading education, because it has to be a key component. There's just too much risk and significant losses. And if you are choosing to self-teach yourself, which is a beautiful part of trading, is that we can, right? But we also have to make sure that we are understanding the way to have a stop loss, always a protective stop, and how to manage it to keep your risks smaller so that you can have bigger wins and less smaller losses, and overall have an uptrend in your trajectory once you start learning and trading real money. Every trader will have a period where they tilt, where you just chase the market, you revenge, you FOMO, and then you figure out what those emotions are and how they play out in your trading, and then how to get on top of them. And before you have those experiences and before you dial it in, please just try to put emphasis on risk management, because the losses can happen so stinking fast. And we got to just make that a big priority as a critical component of creating a trading business for yourself. Even when you're small, right? You need to be able to be like, hopefully my goal is to win $200 a day, or not lose more than $100 a day. And so whatever your risk size is, whatever ability, whatever system you're trading, have it in such a way that you have set up numbers and you honor them and you keep it tight and regular. That way you can have less emotional highs and lows and swings, and you can have longevity in this game because you're not taking these hard hits that just derail you and make you quit early. You kind of ease into that world in terms of risk management and loss management. And that actually makes it so that you can really build a trading career without, hurting yourself. But then another thing with trading that I caution you about is it can be lonely and overwhelming if you're doing it without a community or mentorship or close friends. So if you are new or your community is big or weird or you haven't found it, I would caution you to actively pursue a strong community or at least one or two close friends within whatever community you're in that you can direct message with or text. That way you have someone that makes it not quite so lonely. I mean, your spouse or partner or other mom friends are not going to understand what it feels like to be a growing trader and have those big losses. They just won't, and that's not their fault. They haven't pursued what you're pursuing. And so try to find someone who does, that you can let it out to, because holding in the emotional aspects of learning trading is a lot. And that lonely, overwhelming potential is really not ideal. And so I would definitely encourage you guys to, mitigate that risk by finding people that you can be on your side, right? And make it stable for your heart and your energy and your long-term trajectory as a trader. And then you really can seek those bigger wins, that compounding scalability of trading and the generational wealth that I think for everyone is the end goal, right? That's where we are heading. That's why we found trading. That's why we're pursuing it. That is generally the goal. But also in the beginning, you want to keep it small, get the right people around you, and build your system slowly within the time constraints of your role as a mom. It could be that, I'm going to say it, a 22-year-old guy who has no family, no mortgage, no, significant responsibilities, other people that need their time. Maybe they get to spend 8 to 10 hours a day back testing, studying, talking to mentors, building friendships with other traders and talking to them, going out with traders in the evening and talking it out. If you can spend 40 or 50 hours with this obsession early in your trading career, your time horizon as a trader is going to be different than a mom who can fit in 2 to 3 hours, 4 to 5 days a week. That's still a lot when you have a full, successful, busy house to also manage. Try not to compare yourself to every other trader, because it's just not an apples to apples comparison. It just is not. You're not going to learn the same rate as someone who puts 8 hours in when you put in 2.5. And for a solid half of that, someone is asking about snacks and needing help with the bathroom and their, zipper management. You know what I mean? So, go easy on yourself and have a little grace for all that you're doing, because it's kind of amazing when you are, a little bit later in life and you have multiple priorities and responsibilities and you're choosing to pursue this. That is amazing. And it's a very real opportunity to create a huge, beautiful, thriving trading business over time. But it's not going to be comparable easily to every other trader out there, especially if they're not mom traders with the same amount of kids and responsibilities and what have you. Home dynamics, I mean, different levels of support from your partner or lack thereof, also a major factor that, do your best with and give yourself grace with, and talk to who supports you when you need support as a trader. That way you can, have the most support and stability for yourself through this too. And I'm here. If you guys don't have that, message me. Seriously, I'm not kidding. Message me. My email is contact@market-mamas.com. It's in the show notes of every single episode. I'm 100% will email you back. So we can do this. Okay. So if you're curious about trading, now that I've laid it all out there, what my experience is, what I feel like the pros and cons of it are, if you're a mom, if you're early, if you're advanced in this career, I would definitely say just do you, learn the basics and build, scale up with time. Start with paper trading, simulating, and then low risk accounts. Definitely have boundaries for your growing trading business, how much time and money you can start with. And then that's okay. Let that be okay for you. Start where you can start and then grow from there. And every single starting point has potential to grow with time and, supportive energy. And then also find a community, especially one that welcomes beginners and women, and it will just be a more natural articulation into, your journey in this role and how you want to let it grow over time. And I think that we can do this. Moms are badasses anyways. I'm just saying, You can kind of manage everything, the highs and the lows, and balance and meet everyone's needs while also hopefully meeting your own. And trading is amazing. Like, come join me. It's great. But it's also super hard. And so, give yourself grace through it and don't push it too hard, too fast, because then you can risk leveraging up too quickly and having big losses, which sucks, to be honest. Like, I've had big losses and it sucks. It's hard, but we got this. We can do this. I support you. I support all traders, but I think there's something unique with mom traders that I'm here for to talk about the experience of and help and support. So if you haven't found, I actually have a website that has all the episodes on there and some more resources as well. It's www.market-mamas.com. And I'm really here for you guys. So seek me out. If it helps, like and subscribe. If you found value and you want to talk more and learn more about mom traders, trading in general, trading psychology, that's the core of Market Mamas, is trading psychology, because I have determined that I'm never quitting as a trader, and I'm going to continue to improve and grow. And I also am comfortable being a voice for the challenges that I have pushed through and where I want to go and how that has looked for me, different resources that I have used has really been powerful for my evolution as a trader. And so that is what this podcast is about. So thank you for being here. Find some more episodes and see what you think. Leave a comment and feedback, and I will kind of continue to grow with you guys and hopefully bring quality content that helps enrich your trading journey. All right, you guys, happy trading, and always give yourselves grace and love. Bye.